don't know where I'm going, but I sure know where I've been. Hanging on to the promises from the songs of yesterday. I've made up my mind. I ain't wasting no more time. Here I go again. Here I go again. Now, as a fixed sign, once an Aquarius says, I've made up my mind, that's a very intense and important statement. Because when a fixed sign makes up their mind, it's not like anybody else making up their mind. When other people make up their mind, it's a lot easier to get them to change their mind than it is a fixed sign, especially an Aquarius, okay? It takes us a little bit longer to make certain decisions, and other decisions we know immediately. So in those cases, either we feel it so strongly or we've taken our time with it, and it took us so long to make up our mind that by the time we got to whatever the answer is, that's just the answer. And chances of changing us from all the research that we did to come up with that answer is not really probable. Could happen, not likely. So a lot of people come to me after the Aquarius has made up their mind, usually to leave the situationship or to leave the relationship or whatever it is. And their question to me is, can this be turned around? If an Aquarius walks away, can they be turned around? And there are us revolving door Aquarius, so it is a pretty decent conversation, but there's a lot of nuances to it. So I'm going to do the introduction and I'm going to explain exactly what I'm talking about. I'm Queen Arsed Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, pass it on to somebody else who might like it too, and drop us a positive comment in the comment section. And please stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to read and respond to 2 of my favorite positive comments from previous videos. And one of them might be yours. Also, if you would like to get a reading done, please email me. My email, my social media, that is all underneath this video. Ask an Aquarius merchandise is also underneath this video. And let me see, my PayPal, in case you want to give us a love donation, that is underneath this video as well. All right, so let's get started about this conversation. So recently, again, because this happens to me frequently throughout the week, again, a woman said to me that she was in a relationship with an Aquarius for 4 months, okay? And she said that the Aquarius, they had some ups and downs. It was only 4 months, but during the course of the 4 months, some things happened that she really thinks turned the Aquarius off. And I think she's right. She was telling me that her ex is out of the picture, but doesn't want to let go. You know, so her ex is still calling, and you know, and the Aquarius was like, wait a minute, I thought you told me this was, you know, over. I thought you told me this was reconciled, that it was done with. But he clearly, the ex clearly is not. She thinks she's done, but the Aquarius was like, nah. So the Aquarius stopped talking to her. He basically just ghosted her. You know how we do. So he ghosted her. And she said to me, can I get the Aquarius back? Now, whenever somebody asks me this question, because I do get asked this question very frequently, the very first thing I ask is, how long has it been? Because this is something that you have to understand about the Aquarius. You have a window of time, okay? And I'm going to tell you what the window is. Number one, you have to wait for the Aquarius to stop being angry. If Aquarius is angry with you, let's say we had an argument on the phone, a screaming argument or a disagreement or something like that. The Aquarius hot. You know, some of us got them hot tempers, you know? So the Aquarius is hot. You got to let the Aquarius cool down. And where people make a mistake with me is they keep trying to talk to me while my fire is still high. Let me calm down the dragon. Let me deal with the dragon before you come trying to call me again. Let me deal with myself. Let me tell myself where I'm being unreasonable. Let me tell myself, let me reason, let me logic it, let me calm down. People don't give me a chance. They try to call me immediately, usually because I hung up on them. And they try to call me immediately, and I'm like, leave me alone. If you give the Aquarius a chance to cool off, in most cases, those of us who really do use our logic and those of us who do care about you, eventually will calm down. A conversation cannot be had while the dragon is out. I'm sorry, it just can't. The dragon is mad. When the dragon comes out, it is to protect and defend me, not to communicate, not for diplomatic, diplomatic interactions. When the dragon comes out, it's because I need to be protected. Okay? So in that moment, you need to let me deal with my dragon, and then we can chat. And people always tell me, well, how long is that going to take? It takes as long as it takes. You have to give the Aquarius, it's really based on the infraction. If you and the Aquarius had a big blow up, something that's been like, revving up for months and months and months, it might take longer. If it's a small thing, it might just take a couple days. You have to really gauge it based on what happened. So these two had only been seeing each other for 4 months. The Aquarius spoke on the situation the first time. The Aquarius spoke on the situation the next time the ex popped up. And by the third time, the Aquarius had ghosted her. Okay? So the Aquarius probably isn't very, very angry at this point. The Aquarius is probably frustrated, and he doesn't know you, so he probably thinks you're lying, so he doesn't trust you at this point. So I would not approach right now, period. What I would do is I would go handle that ex. That relationship is not reconciled. It is not over. It is not whatever it needs to be. Because number one, not only is he still trying to push up, you're still allowing him access to you. If it was said, done, and over with, you would not be allowing him access to you. Like with me. If I'm in a relationship with somebody, I'm having a good time and enjoying us, I'm not going to allow another person to be calling me and messing up my new situation. I would have blocked the ex. I would have blocked him after the first time that he hit you up with the Gerby Gerb. I would have blocked him. So that's how I know something in this relationship is unfinished. So finish that relationship before you go chasing behind that Aquarius, okay? Also, the Aquarius does need time, but not too much time. This is where the making up the mind part comes in. Once the Aquarius has made up his mind that he ain't messing with you, he ain't messing with you. So you can't wait forever. In this case, I'm going to go with their situation. It's been 4 months. The last conversation that they had before he ghosted, it wasn't a screaming match, but he just let it be known that he wasn't trying to play this game. He wasn't feeling none of this. It's basically what he told her. That means he's not like dragon angry, He's just kind of frustrated. He's backing off, and he thinks you're not being honest with him. I would go to the ex, deal with that situation and deal with it quickly. No more than, I would say, 90 days at the most. And then I would go back to the Aquarius and tell him, I've dealt with the situation. It's over. He's blocked. Everything is everything. Can we try again? Don't try to step to the Aquarius for a repeat if you know that this situation is going to blow up again. Because the Aquarius is not going to keep on saying, okay, I'll try again. The revolving door, some of us have a revolving door, but the revolving door has only a certain amount of spins on it. Okay? Some Aquarius won't do the revolving door, period. Like I said, they make up their mind a lot faster, and once the mind is made, your chances of getting back in there are zero. But if you're dealing with the revolving door Aquarius like myself, if you step up, not too quickly, but don't take too long, okay? That's why I said like no more than 90 days. And then I will be like, okay, I'll fix this. Can we try again? And if you know that that's not the case, don't bother the Aquarius. Leave the Aquarius alone. If it takes longer than that, you can still try again later, but your chances just aren't as high. The sooner the Aquarius makes up his mind, then your chances go out the window. So me personally, I would just back off and deal with that situation before I tried to come back forward. Because like I said, once we make up our mind, oh my God, it's so hard, especially like in this situation, because he didn't know you long enough to attach to you. He didn't know you long enough to trust you. He didn't know you long enough to know if what you were saying to him, because it really does look like what you're saying is not true. From the outside looking in, I would be like, don't trust her. Something, but if he came to me for a reading, I would be like, don't trust her, because something with her and that ex is unfinished. Slow your roll. And the Aquarius intuitively did that on his own. So take your time, deal with this situation. It is possible to get an Aquarius to come back. It's just a case-by-case basis. And if the situation, like some of us will, like I said before, there's a limit to how many times. Some of us will do the revolving door over and over and over again. But once we've made up our mind that we're not doing it again, we're not doing it again. You never want to let an Aquarius get to the point where we don't care anymore. Once the Aquarius stops caring or stops believing, you want the Aquarius to believe. Aquarius are very idealistic. You want us to believe in the power of love in the relationship. Once we don't believe in that potential or that power, then you've lost the Aquarius. That's why I said you had 3 strikes and then the Aquarius ghosted. Now you do have a potential for another hurrah, but you're not going to get too many more times if you manage to get that one. So if I were you, that's why I said don't play that game, because if you get your foot back in that door and you do the same thing again, the Aquarius is going to be furious. So I wouldn't do that to the Aquarius. I wouldn't do that to anybody, you know? It's not fair. Finish one relationship before you go into having another one. And I see people do this every single day, and then they wonder why things don't work out. Because you got so many doors open. You got one ex you still in love with. You got another ex that's still calling. You got another ex paying your phone bill. You know what I mean? You got your kid's father or your kid's mother. You know, one or the other. You know, you got all of these exes. Finish one relationship. Finish one situation before you move on to the next one. It's unfair to pull people along with all of that baggage. Okay? All right, so get the Aquarius while we still care but are not angry. That's a nice little balancing act, isn't it? Not angry but still care. Nice little window right in there. All right, let's do our positive comments. The first one came from Deborah Sky 7. Hey, Deborah. Deborah said, I don't care for clingy or bossy. Have a happy day. Yeah, a clingy person or a bossy person, I don't mind clingy if I'm really into the person. But they still can't be clingy all the time. I'm too busy. They gotta have things to do. You know, they got to have something rewarding and fulfilling to do. But when I'm not doing anything, I don't mind clingy in my free time. You know, a lot of Aquarius say in the comments section, there isn't a too clingy for Aquarius when we're into you. You know, when we're into you, we want to see you all the time. So you're 100% correct about not liking clingy. But I think a lot of us, it does have some circumstances. But bossy, we never like. And Aquarius never likes being bossed around unless it's an S&M kind of situation, which is a whole different video. But we don't like being bossed around. We like making our own decisions. And if anything, we're the ones leading the pack. If anything, you know, we like making our own decisions, and we really don't like people telling us what to do and stuff like that. That never goes well. Hazel Sparks. Hey, Hazel. Hazel said, very pretty today. I like the pink. Thank you. Pink and red are my favorite colors. Pink, red, and black. My favorite colors. So you see on Asking Aquarius, I do have a tendency to sport that pink a lot. All right, guys, it's time for us to get going. So you please come back soon because I got a lot more to say. See you later.